Well, today's episode is brought to you by the letter N. 9 networking no-fail nuggets for non-assertive narrators and voice actors. Let's face it, the vast majority of networking that we do these days is now done online. We live in an age where that is completely normal, nay, natural. All right, I promise I'll stop. To start and grow relationships digitally through social media and LinkedIn and so on. And that's exactly why networking, yes, live and in-person networking is especially relevant in today's digital age. 25 years ago, networking was the only way, live networking was the only way to grow your network. Now it is simply one method, but it is still the most effective method to start and grow relationships, and ultimately to enrich your life by making new friends. There is no better way to start and grow real human relationships than live in-person networking. There's no better way to leave a lasting impression, and that's true for both positive and negative impressions. So let's get to my top 9 networking no-fail nuggets for non-assertive voice actors and narrators, and stick around till the end of the video because number 1 is my vopro tip that you probably won't hear anyplace else. Number 9, introvert? Bring an extrovert friend. Networking is especially hard for introverts. It's really difficult to break yourself out of that comfort zone and start introducing yourself to complete strangers. While extroverts and some ambiverts, people that can switch back and forth between extrovert and introvert, while they get charged up by being among groups and in large groups, introverts get drained by that same energy. Worse still, some folks find themselves in fear and gripping social anxiety in large groups and can really freak out. And that's totally a real thing, and I get that. So if you have a real deep fear of those situations, you have real deep-seated social anxiety, I'm not suggesting that it's just a switch that you flip and you just kind of get over it. You don't. I understand that. But if you feel like you can handle it, one hack that works very well for introverts is to bring an extroverted friend to networking events. Kind of like a designated icebreaker. Someone who you're comfortable with, who can introduce themselves and break the ice and get the chat moving, get the conversation going, and then smoothly, effortlessly introduce you into the conversation with the person that they're talking to. Number 8. Introduce yourself to one new person. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start small. If you're going to a networking event for an hour or two, just make a goal to introduce yourself to one person you haven't met before. Just one. Keeping the goal small can help reduce the social overwhelm. Not to mention, sometimes you might find yourself in a room where you already know most of the people, and finding somebody that you're not familiar with, somebody you haven't met before, takes a little while longer. Sometimes there might be a really very structured format to the event, and you might not have a whole lot of time to find somebody new to talk to. The one new person strategy keeps things simple and doable. Number 7. Remember, everyone is equal. I think this mindset is crucial, and this one I got from my dear friend Jen Greenfield. Everyone is equal simply means that you need to remember that no one, and I mean no one, is above you nor below you. It doesn't matter how much money they make, how much experience they have or not, or how much business they can bring you or not, or how big or small their ego. We're all just people. The idea is to treat everyone you meet, regardless, with kindness and respect. You are not here to prop up anyone's ego. You are not here to get business out of someone. You are not here to be looked down upon or up to. You are here, my friend, to make real connections with real people. Treat the janitorial staff with the same kindness and respect as you do the CEOs. So many times, voice actors put, especially casting directors, but also coaches, demo producers even, other voice actors up on a pedestal. And the whole thing is just ridiculous. Yes, some people may have more notoriety than you, a bigger or smaller career than you, but we're all here on a journey, and that journey is to serve each other. When you put someone, anybody, up on a pedestal, you surrender your personal power to them, and you make yourself subservient. You make yourself somehow less than. You diminish your own worth, and that's true in business, and it's true in personal relationships too. It's okay to deeply admire someone's work, something that they've created. It's okay to have a lot of respect for another human being. Those things don't make them a better person than you. It just makes them better at that thing. Number 6, focus on them, not the room. When you're engaged in a conversation with somebody at a networking event, to the extent that you possibly can, stay deeply focused on them. Actively listen, not to respond, but to observe and to understand. Look, great actors, which is what you're supposed to be, observe and listen to people at a very high level. Develop that skill. Use it to your advantage to observe and see and hear what makes that person truly unique. You might be able to use it at a performance one day. There's nothing worse than talking with somebody at a party and their eyes are looking all over the room to see who they can talk to next and who's going to further their agenda. They may as well check their watch and yawn. Don't be that person. Make whoever you're talking to feel like the most important in the room, because during that conversation, they are. Number 5, be interested in them and not what you can get from them. And this is where I think people really get sideways with networking. A networking event is not a fertile, target-rich environment for you to extract leads from. It's simply a place to meet new people, deepen relationships with people you already know through chatting with them, and collecting friends. That's it. These people did not show up for you to ask them self-serving questions, ramble on and on and on about what you do, and then shove a business card in their hand and leave. I once went to a series of networking events here in Richmond, and we had a guy that used to show up, and he would introduce himself, talk about what he did, say if you ever had needs for what he sold, then to give him a call at the number in the card, which he then shoved in your face, and then he was on to talk to the next person, and so on, and so on, and so on. And I promise you, we almost kicked this guy out. Now, my guess is that's what he had been told to do by some god-awful sales manager. Talk to as many people as you can about what you do, give them a business card, make sure you get theirs, and let's go. Somebody, I wish it had been me, but it wasn't, took him aside and said, dude, that's not how it's done. And he thankfully got the message, chilled out, and started focusing on the people and not what he could get out of that conversation, but what he could bring to it. And eventually, he became a valued member of that community. So how do you focus intently on somebody? Well, ask them to talk about themselves. It's most people's favorite topic. So, where are you from? Oh, really? Does that make you a fan of the local sports team, a museum, an attraction, whatever? What do you do for fun? What are you into? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have kids? What do you like to read? With a little practice, this will become a little routine of yours, and it will become second nature. Number 4, don't ask to answer. Now, we've all seen this guy at parties, right? The first question out of his mouth is, so what do you do? And then he white knuckles it and grits his teeth while you get through your answer, just so he can tell you what he does and how wonderful he is and all the things that he's accomplished. Don't be that guy. It's okay. It's sometimes even preferred if you don't offer that information until they ask. So, for example, let's say you're talking to somebody at a networking event and you say, oh, what do you do? And they say, oh, as a matter of fact, I'm a casting director for voiceover. Do not lose your shit and do what every other chucklehead voice actor will do and go, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm a voice actor. Let me tell you all about me. Relax, breathe, and focus on the other person, not the title. Well, that's great. That sounds like a lot of fun. How long have you been doing that work? Do you enjoy it? What do you love most about it? Tell me. Let me ask you, if you couldn't be a casting director anymore, what would you do? This is a person in front of you, not a resume twist-tied to a bag of money. Now, you may choose to casually drop later in the conversation that you're a voice actor, but that'll be way after you've established a little rapport with them. Now, the big exception to this is when you're at an event that puts people who do business together purposefully and closely together. For example, many voice acting organizations, I can think of APAC off the top of my head for audiobook narrators. Many organizations will do a speed dating type of event where they put voice talent together with the people who hire voice talent. Everybody knows what the agenda is at these things, so you can be much more open about who you are and what you do and how you can help them. But if you're smart, keep 2/3 of the conversation about them. What are their needs? What are their pain points? What are the obstacles? What are they looking for in a good partner? Wrap the whole conversation up give them your contact information, thank them profusely for their time, and be on your way. And by the way, speaking of business cards, number 3, carry business cards, but don't offer to hand them out unless you're asked. When a conversation at a networking event wraps up, tell that person how much you enjoyed talking to them and offer to stay in touch. Now, at that point, they may ask for your card, in which case, give it to them. They may offer to exchange contact information by bumping phones together. You can do that with some mobile phones. And if not, you can still jot down their name and reach out in a few days on LinkedIn, send them a note to connect, and again, tell them how much you enjoyed chatting, and if it makes sense, then let's connect here on LinkedIn. Forcing your business card or contact information on someone else without being asked is overly aggressive. If they ask, of course oblige. And if you offer to keep in touch and they politely decline, no worries, no harm, no foul. By the way, when you reach out to them on LinkedIn with that connection request, make sure you sign it and include your website address in your signature in text. LinkedIn will turn that into a link and they can research you whether or not they actually accept the connection request or not. Number 2. Avoid politics, sex, and religion at all costs. Yes, put these on the never discuss list. Just don't. Even if somebody asks, say, you know what? Those things are personal choices, personal decisions, and I respect everybody's personal choices. And let that be that. The last thing you need is to be on the opposite side with somebody of a fraught issue. Nothing will end a chat or end a relationship before it gets started like that. And by the way, that's also true for social media. Am I speaking from on high? Oh no, I've made that mistake several times. And number 1, my VO pro tip. Whenever possible, introduce the person you're speaking with to someone else. Connectors win. If you can be somebody that puts good people together, you win as much or more than they do. Take any opportunity to introduce someone you're speaking with to someone they may not know. There doesn't have to be an agenda. It could be anyone, literally anyone. Dwayne, this is my friend Asia. She's a voice actor from Austin. She's new in town. People often remember how they were introduced. They talk about it in conversations later on. And it's generally a fond memory, and you get credit for that. Remember that series of networking events I was talking about earlier? The first time I went to one of those events, there was a guy named Steve there. And Steve did what I talked about in tip number 9. He came up and talked to somebody he didn't know, which happened to be me. He introduced himself. And when he found out I was new to the group, he made sure he introduced me to several other people. Now look, even as an extrovert, I was the new guy and I was a little bit nervous, and that little act of kindness broke the ice, and I had several great conversations with those folks, and I ended up joining the group. And then years later, I ended up becoming an officer in that group, an integral part of it. You never know how you might change somebody's life with an introduction, maybe even your own. Go to vopro.pro for more information on the VO Freedom Master Plan, the VO Pro community, and to get my Mood Touch Inspired newsletter that comes out for voice actors every single week. If you found value from this video, then please give us a like, give us a subscribe, share the video with other voice actors so that we can help them and build a stronger, more vibrant community for us all. Thanks for the conversations we have on YouTube, in the blog at vopro.pro. In the larger voiceover community, the more we talk, the more we exchange information, the more we have rational discourse, the better, stronger industry we can build for everybody. Thank you very much. We'll see you back here again next week.